Do you use visual aids in your presentations? Do you present in poster sessions? How do you describe this area, or this area in English? I will show you must-know English words to describe different areas on your visual aids. And I will also give you useful mama phrases to direct your audience's attention to the right spot on your visual aids. Hi, I'm Keiko from English-Empowered. I help Japanese researchers and business professionals improve their English communication skills for work. In the 一言まま phrase lessons, I introduce you to useful English expressions that are natural and appropriate for professional settings. Practice using mama phrases with me, and you will become a fluent speaker and a valued member of your workplace. Today, we will first go over some vocabulary for describing different areas on a visual aid. Then, I will give you 3 一言まま phrases to direct your audience's attention to a specific area on your visual aids. Finally, you will practice describing a visual aid by using the vocabulary and the mama phrases you've learned today. Before we start, let me give you a few reminders. Number 1, have a pen and a sticky note ready. I will let you know when you need them. And number 2, participate actively by repeating after me and by practicing saying the mama phrases in the output training. Are you ready? Let's get started. If you use PowerPoint slides, handouts, and other types of visual aids, it's helpful to know how to describe different areas on your visual aids. If you give poster presentations, you will find today's lesson particularly helpful because in poster presentations, you constantly have to describe what information is where. We're going to look at how to say each of these areas in English. There's more than one way to describe them, but I will show you the ones that are most commonly used. Okay, first, what do you call this area? In the middle or in the center? How about here? At the top. And here? At the bottom. How about this one? On the left or on the left side? And the other side? On the right or on the right side? Okay, so far so good? Here's when things get a little more complicated. What do you call this area? In the top left corner or in the upper left corner? They mean the same thing, so choose the one that's easier for you to say. You don't want to get confused saying these words in the middle of your speech. Top, up, upper, topper corner? So take my advice and choose one. Now, what's this area called? In the top right corner or in the upper right corner? Then how about here? In the bottom left corner or in the lower left corner? The last one. You got it. In the bottom right corner or in the lower right corner? When you memorize these words, my advice is to memorize them with the prepositions, because you need different prepositions depending on the area. See? So learn them as they are, and you'll be able to speak grammatically without thinking about it. If you want to point to an entire slide, you can just use the slide number and say on slide number, like on slide 8. Or you might have the appendix slides where you put some extra information that didn't quite fit in the presentation. Then you might say in the appendix. If you have a handout in your presentation, and if you want to refer to a specific page, these are the phrases to use. On the front page of the handout, on the back of the handout, on the second or third page of the handout. There you have the key vocabulary for describing different areas. Now that you know the vocabulary to describe different areas on your visual aids, let's take a look at this week's 3 一言mama phrases. I will show you 3 useful mama phrases to draw your audience's attention to a specific area on your visual aid. Write point to a specific area on visual aids at the top of the sticky note. Not at the bottom, not in the upper right corner, but at the top. Got it? Here are the 一言mama phrases to point to a specific area on visual aids. 一言mama phrase number 1. Please take a look at the X area. Write this down on your sticky note. Now repeat after me. Please take a look at the X area. Please take a look at the X area. It's the simplest way to draw your audience's attention to something. And it's an anaume mama phrase. You need to fill in the blanks to complete the sentence. In this case, you put the object, what you want your audience to look at, in X, and where it is in the area. Now for the area, use the vocabulary you've learned earlier in this lesson, like in the middle, in the bottom left corner, and so on. After saying this mama phrase, you explain the X in more detail. Like, please take a look at the data at the bottom of the slide. They show how many jobs have been added over the last year. Or, please take a look at the flow chart on slide 6. You can see the process we use to select our subjects. Let's practice saying the example mama phrases together. Repeat after me. Please take a look at the data at the bottom of the slide. Please take a look at the flow chart on slide 6. Great! 一言mama phrase number 2. If you look at area, you will see X. Write it down on your sticky note. Now repeat. If you look at area, you will see X. If you look at area, you will see X. Insert the area vocabulary you've learned today and tell the audience what they will see there. For example, if you look at the bottom left corner, you will see the background of our research. If you look at the back of the handout, you will see a list of our sponsors. If you look at is a very common phrase people use to direct the audience's attention. And because the area comes after look at, just use at as the preposition. Repeat after me. If you look at the bottom left corner, you will see the background of our research. If you look at the back of the handout, you will see a list of our sponsors. Excellent! Now, 一言まま phrase number 3. Do you see the X area? Write it down on your sticky note. Now repeat. Do you see the X area? Do you see the X area? This mama phrase needs to be directly followed by more information. Like, do you see the picture in the middle? That's a 20 times magnified image of the sample. Or, do you see the pen icon in the top right corner? That means the slide is still in the drafting stage. Let's say the example mama phrases together. Do you see the picture in the middle? Do you see the icon in the top right corner? Nice job! When using these mama phrases, it's common to leave out of the slide, of the poster, or of the handout. So for example, instead of saying, please take a look at the data in the top right corner of the slide, you can simply say, please take a look at the data in the top right corner. Or instead of saying, if you look at the chart on the left side of the poster, you can just say, if you look at the chart on the left. Do you know why? It's because when you talk about a specific area on your visual aid, you're probably looking at it and pointing at it too. So it's a little bit redundant, meaning extra and unnecessary to say of the slide. Your audience already knows the information is on the slide or on the poster. Of course, if you want to be clear which visual aid you're talking about, you can say in the middle of the poster or on the back of the handout. But the point is, you don't have to say it if it's already clear. And my tip for you is to use nonverbal communication to help your audience look at the right spot on your visual aid. Pointing is one way to do it. Or if you want your audience to look at the back of your handout, flip your copy so they can visually see where to look. Nonverbal communication reinforces your verbal message and help your audience follow your speech. So again, this week's 3 hitokото mama phrases are, please take a look at the X area. If you look at area, you will see X. Do you see the X area? Keep the sticky note with you. Now it's time for the output training. You're going to see a picture or a table in a particular area of a particular visual aid. Use the area vocabulary and the hitokото mama phrases you've learned today to direct your audience's attention. We will keep this area vocabulary diagram here for your reference. You have 5 seconds. Ready? Let's start. How did it go? Keep practicing and you'll get there. In this lesson, you'll learn how to direct your audience's attention to a specific area on your visual aids. Let's review the 3 hitokото mama phrases we went over today. Please take a look at the X area. If you look at area, you will see X. Do you see the X area? You did a great job today. Now put the sticky note with these mama phrases somewhere you see often. Your laptop, your bedroom wall, your office desk, and use them throughout the week. The key is to use them. Let me know in the comment section how you use this week's vocabulary and the hitokото mama phrases. If you go to English-Empowered blog, you will find the area vocabulary diagram I showed you today and extra mama phrases. I put the link in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me. See you in the next lesson.